Yes, it's Friday today, and we've got this special hangout today for you. We have a special guest, and we're going to announce this new program, which we all joined. We have a few team leaders on the panel today, and we have myself, Jordaan. We have Mike with us. We have Blue Bosch and Aslan, and we have our special guest, who is the owner of ZarFund, which is the program we're going to be talking about, Mr. Jordaan. Welcome to the panel, Mr. Jordaan. How are you doing?
I'm very welcome. Thank you for the warm welcome.
Thank you for being with us tonight. We are appreciating. We have a lot of questions to ask you. Of course, this is a new program, and it's new to us. We all just joined it literally. I think the only person who's been in the program longer than anyone else is Mike. So we're going to hear from him about his experience. He's already moved up quite a few levels, and we're going to be asking you all of the questions, basic and advanced questions. We want to know quite a few things about the program and how it works and who you are. Of course, let's maybe start with that.
Sure, we'll do that. Okay, let me start with some of my background. I've been in IT mostly for a couple of years, 20 years odd. Mostly with hardware, fixing computers and putting up networks and stuff like that. But then I ventured onto making money online. So I was looking at programs since about 2012, September. I found my first program that I got involved in. It might not be something that you recognize, but it was Just Been Paid. Was the name of the program, where you bought $10 packs and you earned on those packs 20 cents a day, 2% a day, and that did quite well for me. And then I took some of those earnings and I invested in other programs like Banners Brokers and yeah, there was a bunch. And at some point in time, all those just melted. Everything went haywire, and I didn't really lose a lot of money. I just lost the income that I was expecting from those programs. And that started a search. I wanted to search for something, to look for something that I could do, or where I could be, in a way, be in control with. I didn't think I would have my own program at that stage. I didn't go for that. My view was actually to find something that's consistent, that can keep on paying, that I can make money and provide for my family. And it took time for me to discover that. So what I did was I went on to doing those programs, but at some point in time I got burned so bad that I stopped it. I left it alone for about 2 or 3 years. And from the beginning of the year, I opened up and said, listen, but that's the way I made money, and I was happy doing what I did. And then I got involved in a couple of programs, Triple M. I think most of us know about Triple M. And was similar in a way to what I used to do in 2012 with Just Been Paid. The concept of a restart existed then already, and it sounded to me and looked to me quite a lot like the same as what we had in Just Been Paid. So that got me into Triple M. But I also realized, but listen, these things run on cycles. You have to keep in mind at what level you are within the cycle, so that again you don't get burned, you don't get your money tied up in there. And so yeah, I've just wrote those waves, but when the program kind of almost closed down or had one of those cycles happening, then I was starting to look elsewhere, and I found 2 other programs that is actually similar to ZarFund, and I got involved in those, and I did very well in those programs. But I saw all the issues. I saw the issues and I saw the problems. Now, what I like to do is to take situations to see how can I make it better? How can I solve the problems? And that's exactly what I did. I actually took my ideas and I went to the owner of the one program. I said, listen, why don't we do this? I knew it wouldn't be able to do the changes in the current model like they had it, but it could be a good, viable option to start a new program and bring that in. But then things just started to take too long to my liking, and I did want to get this thing started and didn't want to be dependent on other people. So the one thing that I thought of, at that stage I didn't know how much it would cost, so I was thinking, let me approach a few good networkers and say, listen, everyone club in with X amount of money and let's get this thing started. And now the program name started ZarFund. Was ZAR is the South African currency, the South African rand. And initially I thought, listen, I don't want to encourage these guys in what they have. Let's just take something that I can put into South Africa and just use the South African currency to help people locally. You say, listen, this is a way that you can make money. But then again, we in South Africa we have quite a lot of programs with the banks. Through MMM that we experienced, where they will just simply close people's accounts because they receive too much money. That can't be explained. So I thought, listen, I need to take that out of the equation.
Is this how you decided to make this peer-to-peer, so you avoid the whole bank involvement and everything?
Yes, partly peer-to-peer, to take any middleman out of the way. I didn't want the program to be the middleman. I didn't want myself to be the middleman. I didn't want something in between. I want people to give donations with a pure heart, with something that they want to do. So for me, it was to get a vehicle in place that people could make money in a legal way, because there's no legalities that stand in your way to give or receive donations. You see, and in different countries it operates on different levels. But to me it was important that people should be able to use ZarFund. It's not a company, it's not a business, it's nothing except it's a vehicle. It's like using Windows. Windows is a product of Microsoft. But I mean, you decide how you use Windows within it, the parameters that you have in the program. And the same with the ZarFund. You use ZarFund or you don't use it. But it's in certain parameters that you can use it and to make an income and a living from it. So to me it was very important. So when I decided not to use South African Rand, but rather just move over to Bitcoin, I wanted people to get used to using Bitcoin. It was important to me because I feel that Bitcoin is important. And that's why I said, okay, there's a huge market that I'm going to miss out on when I start ZarFund, because they don't operate in Bitcoin. But in a way, I wanted to force them to adapt and to adopt Bitcoin, so that they can start learning. Listen, because my view is Bitcoin is the payment option, especially online, of the future.
Yeah, it's the internet currency, isn't it? It's everyone's using it.
Yes.
My next question, like, how is the program generating income for you?
Okay. Obviously, since I started the program, now you need to have first 6 levels. If I sign up OJ, for example, then OJ pays me for level 1. But who's he going to pay above me if there's no one to get paid? So the first 6 levels, don't worry about me. I'm a member, just as you, but I have the privilege that I have the first 6 levels where people can upgrade to, where they can pay. So I'm getting paid. There's no problem in that. But those funds I use again to pay the programmer for enhancements, for fixes. I pay the service to run without interruption. I pay for a lot of marketing. I've now spoken to guys to create more videos for me, and I'm paying for that. So to me, it's all, listen, some of those funds I need to plow back into the program so that people have, there's people that struggle with their marketing, they're struggling with recruiting. Let's just give them some tools. Let's just make it for them easier so that they do have, I'm waiting any day now, we'll have a new front end to the site because it's too much similar to what the other programs look like because I'm using the same programmer. And so I had to change and tweak the homepage to look to something different so that when people send their recruits to the site, it doesn't, oh, I know this program, and they don't get confused with what else is on the market. But yeah, just to get back to the question about how do I make money, I have the first 6 positions in the program, the first 6 levels, so that people can have the option to upgrade. And yeah, and that's the team that I built. So I built the team, and they keep on. My reward is that I'm getting paid for my efforts.
What happens if someone joins straight the website, like they go on the website without a sponsor, and they decide to join? Is that basically they're joining you? Is that the case?
Yes. At the moment, it's set up. Well, because I still only have 2 positions under me, so they will spill down. They will fall somewhere down in the matrix. Even they join the administrator, they won't pay the administrator. They will pay someone else down below in the matrix. Yes.
Okay, makes sense. And another question: how many people on level 6 you currently have? Is that the problem?
We've got Mike on board here. Mike was the first person in the program to reach level 6. He did that somewhere. This morning when I woke up, I saw, hey, somebody upgraded to level 6. And I looked at Mike's profile and I said, hey, this guy did it in 10 days. In 10 days, he reached level 6.
Not just everyone.
Well done, Mike. We officially started the program on the 15th of August.
You told me the domain is from 2014.
Say again?
Was saying to me, is that domain is old?
No. It's brand new. I registered in July. Now the thing is, one thing that people don't understand: why do admins generally don't show who they are? And the big reason is not to run away. Yes, there's programs where admins run away, but in this case, I must assure you, I'm not looking at running away. And the only reason why I registered the page anonymously, or to be a secret page, was I didn't want people to approach me with everything, because that's what happens. People approach you with, you won't believe how busy my day becomes just because people, and it's nothing to do with the program. They want to just contact me. Hey, you look like a big recruiter. I had a chat with someone that wanted me to get involved in binary options about half an hour ago, just before we started chatting. My purpose is to, firstly, get you to earn an income in online. Secondly, I want you to adopt Bitcoin, because I don't believe in making the banks richer and the governments and, all that jazz. I'm here to see how I can help people in the best way I know possibly. So I adapted the program to fit a narrow niche market. Only people that at least be able, but I also wanted to make it easier. So that you only need 2 people. If you can find 2 people to join you, 2. Most people can do better than that. No, the average is more than 2. So 2. And the other one was to make the entry level that you need to pay. So even the poorest countries, you should be able to fork out that money and say, listen, I dare to dream. I can do something about it. But I wanted to to grow steadily so that people can make money if they put in the effort. And Mike obviously showed that it's truly a way to make a decent income from the program.
Yes, it's working really well. I mean, we are all very impressed. We're all very happy. We were quite excited when we first found out about it. And trust me, all of us were already involved in other programs, and we were not looking. But when it came, it's kind of too good to miss out on it, and not to try and give it a shot. And I'm quite happy that I gave it a shot. I mean, so far we're doing great. And now, tell me, what is the vision for the business? How do you what is the future?
Okay, the future for the program, we want to make it easier, make sure that all the bugs, there's some little bugs that's still in the program that we're ironing out, and that's priority. There shouldn't be any issues, any problems. The program as it is, that's why I'm not introducing big moves in the program. There's no big issues, no big advancements or changes in the program that I want to do, because that's only will bring confusion. People still need to adapt to the style of the program. They need to understand how the program works properly, because just keep in mind, there's not something out there that's very similar to this. This is one of a kind, in a sense. And so people, the mindset is not there yet to understand completely the program and the possibilities through the program. But there will be some advancements. One thing that I can see that we'll grow into is once we start filling up those level 5s and 6. I don't foresee it happening in the next 6 months, but I do foresee that it will happen, where people do reach level 5s and they do reach level 6, and they will be looking at how can we expand to level 7. How can we get to a stage where we can put in 5 Bitcoin and get back a lot more? Because, you know, there's one thing that's counterintuitive to most programs, and that's greed. But I want to get people and say, listen, there's also people out there that's got their self-worth. They know they're supposed to make much more. And they're looking for a vehicle to do that. And I want ZarFund to be one of those vehicles, where they're not just in it for a quick buck. They're not just in it to make a bit of money from it and to take a lot of people with them. I want this thing to be long-lasting. See, everything in the program is set up so that it can last for a very long time. And that's why the numbers, to fill up your 6 levels with 126 people. Now, obviously, they need people under them to push so they can, again, pay those funds. But remember, now we're talking about 12 levels, not even, because once your level 6 starts getting payments from their level 5, then they will afford level 6. So you're not looking at 12 levels, you're looking at 11 levels. But then again, you're looking at, if you look at 12 levels, it's 4,096 people. 4,096 people, that's not a lot. That's not a lot of people that you need to get in. And with the efforts of teams like we're building, it's going to fill up quite fast. And ZarFund is not the only program. There's other ways. ZarFund makes you money. But it's best to go, now that you've got those money, you need to learn how to preserve that money. And maybe in future we'll look at getting people educated and say, listen, don't just make money and go and spend it. Take some of those funds that you're earning every month, and here's more vehicles where you can get those, apply that money to reserve your riches and to leave it to the next generation, and not just spend it and go on shopping sprees and all that kind of jazz. You know?
Yeah, of course. No, that's good. Are there any changes that we might be seeing anytime soon? And by changes, I mean in the structure, in the way things work, in the prices, that fees that we pay, so to speak, they're not fees, they're, you know, the donations that we make. Do you anticipate any kind of changes in that?
No, not at all. The thing is, I want to keep it low for people to get in, and I want to make it easy. People need to be able to tell others, say, hey, this is the easy way to get in and get your started. But if people, they've got 24 hours to upgrade to stage 1. 24 hours, and before they even join, they have the option to say, listen, I want to check out everything. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube already. We've got great leaders in the program that are spending a lot of time training with people, a lot of training happening on the Bitcoin side, to tell people and show them how Bitcoin works, how to get involved in Bitcoin. And so I'm not foreseeing change in that way. Where I do want to do changes is obviously the front end, that we'll see very soon. I want to add more marketing material so that it's easier for people to get people, for others to look at the opportunity and see that we're not a fly-by-night opportunity. We're here to stay. We'll close the door once the last person don't pay anymore. No. But I don't see that.
Let's give the floor to Mike for a minute. Mike, you have some questions, I'm sure.
Yeah, one of the questions that I've been asked a lot, you know, and I've seen the evidence of what happens in my own matrix, my own tree. But one of the questions is, you know, what happens if somebody joins and then after that 24-hour period, they don't make the payment, but you know, the way the spillover works, they get referrals and it goes down like that. Now, I've seen it happen in my matrix where that one individual is removed and the tree restructures going up. Am I seeing that right, or just to make sure?
Okay, let me explain how that part of the matrix works, the program works. What the program does is you, for example, Mike, let's use you as an example. You sign up 3 people. Okay, your first level can only take 2. Right, so the first 2 people of those 3 that got your invite and followed your link, the first 2 people that upgrade, they will take position number 1 and number 2. Okay, they don't have a link to give out to others unless they upgrade it. So there's no way for someone to fall under one of those 2 until and unless they upgrade it to stage 1. All right, now the third person will spill down to either one of those. Now, it's not going to fall to the left. The program doesn't make you say, okay, where's the next left position open? Or to the right. It takes that randomly. Okay, now say, let's use another example. Say you sign up 8 people. They all fall under your level because they sign up at your link. And now we get the first to sign up, or the first to upgrade, they take the first 2 positions. Now the next, say 4, sign up, and they take the next 4 positions. But okay, let's just make it 3 positions. All right? So we've got 5 people in. The 6th person that needs to sign up, the program looks to the left leg or to the right. It's not programmed to go to a specific leg. It just goes and says, oh, those 2 are full, and then it picks randomly any one of those 2, and it might go to the left leg. And it says, okay, look at the left leg, and those 2 are full, and then it goes down any one of those 2, and then it finds the next open spot. So it might not go right and fill that 4th spot that needs to be filled. It might fill one of those spots. But then the next time, it might go and fill that spot. You see, so there's a randomizer built in. Because one thing that I saw from the previous programs that I wanted to address in this one was they had, for example, signing up charities. And they would just use, for example, one link, and all the charities, the charity would only promote that one link. Now, everybody that signed up, they would follow up from left to right, and then follow up that level and go to the next level, and then follow up from left to right. And the people at the right hand, they almost never get spoiled for people. And the only way for me to address that, now, we can make this very complicated. And but I wanted just a simple, fast solution. And that's why we have it that it looks at, okay, this level is full, so let's just take any of the next, or any of those legs and just go down that. If that's full, then go down to the next until we find an open spot. The other way to do this, oh well, let's just not go there. It's getting technical.
I guess what I was seeing was people that were, I had 3 people in level 2, that, instead of having, well, actually in level 1, instead of having 2, I had 3, and then they had underneath them, and the way I was looking at it, because the way the tree is looking, I guess that's what I was confused about at that point. But yeah, that makes a lot more sense the way you explained it. It's just random as it goes down.
Let me explain when it will happen that you do find that you now get 3 people that's upgraded on level 1. The program goes to the blockchain. If 3 people sign up and they upgrade within a short space of time from each other, then all 3 will be on level 1. They've all got their payments submitted in the system. Now we depend on the blockchain to provide as the proof of which payments went through. Now if that's in more or less the same time frame that the blockchain takes to verify the payments, and it comes back, then all 3 may be on level 1. That happens almost never. But yeah, the chance is there that this will happen. So know that if that happens, then just talk to us. We don't, because we're dependent on the blockchain to verify transactions, we can't control that. Other than maybe write into the script that it should give the next time it looks for an update on that account, it should give it some time before it approves that payment. But yeah, there's ways of solving that problem. But just know that still exists in the program.
Right.
If 3 are very close to each other, then there might be 3 on 1 level.
Okay. And I like the way the program relies on the blockchain itself. It's all member to member and everything else. And I'm sure that's why you don't suggest people to use Coinbase or Zappo or Unicoin or whatever, because they have their own internal ways of transferring. So like if I had a Coinbase account and I wanted to put it as the receiving account for all my donations, and then somebody donated to me using Coinbase, it could cause an issue there with like the hash ID or finding the transaction, because they use the emails to transfer as well. So okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Exactly.
That's.
Now I don't think we have a problem with Coinbase as such. But Zappo, local Bitcoins, and there's a few others as well that has that problem. They do allow internal transfers and just share the same hash. And yeah, problems like that.
Can we just clarify, Coinbase is okay, and blockchain obviously is your preferred processor. But for people who already have Coinbase, do they have to necessarily go to blockchain and do it from there? Because I'm one of these people. And I have people in my team who are asking me as well. And I noticed that I did a transaction with both. So one with blockchain, and then I did another transaction with Coinbase, and both were working fine. So I started telling my team that it's okay to use Coinbase and that you don't have to go to blockchain for that. Is that the case?
Yes. At this stage, we haven't received any complaints from Coinbase or blockchain, because all their transactions happen on and through the blockchain, while we can't say the same of most of the other wallet vendors. They do internal transactions.
That's pretty much all I had to ask. I mean, everything else was covered before then, and that was the only technical thing I could really think about. So, I mean, anybody else, take it on over.
Okay. Thanks, Mike.
Lubush, let's go to you now and see what questions you have. Questions from your team, I suppose.
No, hey guys. I want to ask a question because hi Hannes. My question is that the next step, yeah, like it's a passive income, yeah. So the next step is going to be the monthly payment. I want to ask you how. I know that there is the timer, yeah, in the dashboard, but how much time will have that person to pay, and what's going to happen if they don't pay?
Okay, very good question. All right, what's going to happen? Let's say you paid September 15. You joined on 15 and you paid your 0.03 Bitcoins. Now your next payment comes up on the 15th, well, 30 days after. Now August had 31 days. So you'll be paying the 14th of September because that's 30 days in the future. But now 5 days before you need to actually pay, you'll receive a button in your back office that already gives you the option to pay for that date. Okay, so you can, it doesn't matter what happens, you can pay beforehand so that if, let's say Armageddon happens and you can't pay on the 14th, then at least you could have paid before that. All right. But now, let's say you're supposed to pay at the latest the 14th, and you still didn't pay. You still then have 24 hours. So I give you another opportunity to pay. You still have 24 hours. But now keep this in mind. On the date that you're supposed to pay, if you're not paid up, and someone else, say you joined the 15th of August, and you signed up someone on that same day. If you're not paid up on that same day and that person needs to pay, they're going to skip you because you're not paid up. That payment will go to your upline that is qualified to receive those payments. But now if you do pay, and even if you pay late, then next month you can expect those payments to come back in. Okay, so I want to keep it fair, but also strict. People need to say, listen, this is a monthly program. This is not a once-off. We're not here to make quick money and then run to the next shiny object. We are here to stay. We want this to be sustainable. We want people to, yes, you pay every month, but everyone pays every month. And you receive donations every month.
Yeah, so basically, that person will not be removed from the matrix, right? Just it will be passed up actually. Like he's not gonna receive from his upline, right, or downline actually. It's from his downline money, but it will be passed up to his upline, right? Actually.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
You see what's going to happen? Say you are qualified, so you paid, you upgraded for level 1, you upgraded for level 2, and you upgraded for level 3. So your next payment comes up for level 1, and you pay that in time, no problem. For some reason, you skipped level 2, your level 2 payment. But you remember to pay your level 3 payment. So then you will get your level 1 payments coming to you, and you will get your level 3 payments to you. But your level 2 payment will pass up to the next qualified person, probably your upline. And so that keeps you to keep on paying, otherwise you miss those. But now, doesn't matter when you pay, the option will always be there, so listen, you need to pay. So if you still have outstanding amounts on that level, and you pay late, you can still receive those outstanding amounts on that level. Okay.
If you get passed by someone in your downline, they upgrade before you, are you going to have less people that pay you in that case? Let's say someone just started their level 1. They signed up a couple of people. One of these people is better, so he progresses faster. He goes to level 2, maybe even level 3. So he's the downline of his sponsor, but his sponsor is now below him because that person upgraded to level 3 and his sponsor is still at level 2. And what is happening is that's one person that was supposed to be in his downline that was supposed to pay, this person, and now he's kind of jumped.
Yes.
Does that mean that the person who was still on the previous level is now going to miss one spot, or they will miss a payment or something like that? Is that the case or not really?
Yes. Say I've got people on my third level, and one of those people on my third level, they're supposed to pay me when they upgrade to level 3. But if I'm still level 2, then they will skip me and they will pay the person above me. All right. But now I can next month. I still have time. I can upgrade anytime I want. And next month, I don't need to be skipped. That person can then pay me because I am his third level up and I'm qualified to receive those funds. So if you do get somebody that skips you, and it happens quite a lot. It's funny, I laugh at those things, but it happens quite a lot that people are hungry in this business. They just shoot up. They pay for the first 4 levels, and they jump a lot of people in the process. Now, I want to leave people to make their own mind to what they want to do in a program regarding that. I don't want to restrict them and say, listen, sorry, you can't upgrade because that person hasn't upgraded. But I also want people to take responsibility in the program. Say, hey, this is my team. I need to be in control, or to be able to at least see what's happening in my team and stay up to date. So in a sense, I'm forcing people to stay in touch with their people and to build relationships and to say, listen, whenever you're ready and you want to upgrade, please let me know. I don't want to enforce that on people. But I also understand there needs to be some fairness. So if you get skipped, you can remedy that. You can remedy that you don't get skipped again. And that's by focusing on your teams, keep on building, get the money, do the upgrade, and you won't get skipped again. Unfortunately, that is something. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say this is very important to know because I didn't quite realize that if you get skipped the following month, if you upgrade to the correct level, then the following month everything is fine. I thought you're going to lose that person because they're just going to jump above you, and from that point on, they're no longer belonging to your matrix, so to speak. So this is important to clarify.
Yeah, that's to me, it's very, it's not fair. I believe in fairness, but I also believe in responsibility. People taking responsibility of what they do online and where they get themselves involved in so on. Now, the ZarFund has very specific parameters. So just stick with those parameters and you will be fine. Go and keep on building your team. Build those relationships because that's what it's all about. Once you keep those relationships alive, they never will even think of skipping you. They know, listen, this is my next guy I need to pay. He's not there yet, so let me just give him the courtesy call and say, hey, come on, AJ, I need you to upgrade. I want to pay you. You get your money back anyways, directly, immediately. So yeah, it's to me important that it needs to be fair, but also you need to be able to stay up to date with what's happening in your team, to take responsibility in that way.
It's a team effort, of course, with this problem, and this is why we like it so much, because it's kind of teaching people to start working in teams and to start communicating with their teams, because with online marketing, it's not quite like network marketing. There's a lot of online marketing happening that is quite selfish, and people are just promoting things and they never really talk to their team members, and this is one of these problems that is kind of bringing you back to the network marketing side, where you're kind of forced into speaking to people and and taking care of your team and kind of be very selfless in a way, because you are the one doing the promotion and you keep promoting after you find the first 2 people, but this time you start giving people away and you start placing people under other people, and you're helping your team. If you're a good promoter, of course you should be doing that, but yeah, it's important that it's got that interaction going on, and the fact that it's kind of forcing you to be more involved with your team and know who your team are. I mean, when you have a big team, it's actually difficult to know everyone in your team. Can we have some type of a matrix view incorporated in the system on the website? Because right now it's a little bit difficult to follow your tree when it becomes 4 or 5 levels deep. And it's really convenient that you can click on the name and you can click on the referrals. You can see the details straight away. That's very good. And we should still have that. But coming from other MLM programs, I'm kind of used to having that tricks view where you actually see the people placed. Is that something that we can see in future?
Yes, I've got more and more people looking or asking me, suggesting that we do implement something like that. So I take that very serious, and it's obviously one of the things on our list now that we want to implement.
Let's go to Arslan right now and see if he has any questions. He's got quite a big team, by the way, so he's another very good player here.
Okay, first question I want to ask. Basically, I'm giving my link to someone to join it. It goes a split over, and I just want to ask, it goes to someone who got the 1 referral, or it can go to someone who got with 0. That's what I want to know.
It depends on how, if your first level is full.
Okay.
The program can take any of the 2 legs, because it says, now you need to keep in mind that the processing power you need, that will keep the server quite busy, and we're not ready yet to upgrade to a much bigger processing power, because you need to keep in mind the cost factor of, now the processing power for the program to go and look down each leg every time and take all the legs in comparison and then find the weaker spot. The processing power at the time is going to take for thousands of members to do that calculation. You need immense processing power to be able to do that, and we're not ready for that. So the best solution we have currently is say, listen, let's just look at the program. Let's find the first full level and take any of those 2 legs, go down, and then under that new leg, find an empty spot.
I was going to say, so it is probably better to actually go and use people's links to place people where you want them to be, rather than leaving it on automatic. Is that more or less what you would suggest?
Yes, that's the best way. That's the best way, and that's why we made it so obvious. You can either send someone an email from that person as if they're sending you come up as, hey, listen, OJ recommended you join Arslan in his matrix. But we also gave the link, so you can take that link specifically and say, hey, the next guy I want to sign up needs to join under this link. And so you have the option of what you want to do. But that's obviously the best way. Either leave it to the system to decide, and the system is totally impartial. It's not going to look for your best leg to put that person under. That's your job.
Okay, yeah, that's quite good. A question that is unrelated to this right now, but it just popped in my head. You mentioned this is not a company. Is it still a company registered business, or how does it operate? I mean, again, I'm touching on legalities here.
Okay. ZarFund is not registered as a company. In South African law, when you as a company deal with other people's money, then you need to be registered. ZarFund is not registered as a company. We're not an NPO. We're not in South Africa Article 21 company. We're not interested in that. We only have a platform, a tool that you can use to generate donations and to give donations. So it's nothing. There's nothing legal or illegal about it, because there's not a framework in the law for something that we have. You see, there's restrictions and there's guides on how much you can donate and how much you are allowed to receive in donations. But that, again, depends on which country you're from. So there was just no way to register ZarFund as a company or an NPO or any legal entity, because it's simply a tool that members use to donate and receive donations. There's nothing that, if there was, I would register it, but there's nothing that I can register it as, because it's only a tool.
Okay, yeah, I understand. It's a platform that is doing most of the work. How safe it is in terms of course, everything online is exposed to hacking attacks and things like that. Of course, you have a lot of data in there, a lot of information that is being stored, and a lot of transactions are not depending, but you have a lot of data that you need to take into account for everything to run smoothly and for everyone to be paying the right person and all of that. How much room we have for mistakes?
Okay, obviously the most important was to make the peer-to-peer payment process as secure as possible. And that's why we totally leave that out of the system to happen strictly on the blockchain, which is the most secure system probably on the planet. I don't think there's any system more secure than the blockchain. Well, depending also, if you really want to get into the technical stuff, you can look at Ethereum's blockchain and find that it's better. And there will always be better blockchains. But the blockchain system as such is the most secure system that I know of on the planet that's widely used. Now, to get back to the program and the data that's on the program, all passwords are hash encoded. So you won't find a hacker being able to access passwords, even if they find it on the database somewhere. Now, part of the problem that I experienced when I bought the script that we evolved from to develop ZarFund was the script is so it's built on the code is all over. It's not structured, so it's difficult to find anything on the program. I mean, I know about programming and I know how to change things in the background, played around with PHP, etc. And I just couldn't make out where to do things, and I have access to the code, So yeah, it's going to be a tough sell for someone to hack into the program and try and change things or gather information that they can use, even the database. And we have things set up. So if something happens, we're using external sources. I'm not going to explain exactly what we do, but we've got external resources that look out for DDoS attacks and all the regular stuff that you find online. But then we also, in the program itself, we have ways of dealing so that hackers don't get to our core data that we have in the program. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that people are aware that things are safe, because again, it is peer-to-peer, and sometimes people are not. This is still a new concept. I know there are a few other programs that have this sort of crowdfunding, if you want to call it, sort of a structure. But some people are still very uncomfortable with the fact that they are paying someone directly. Therefore, if something goes wrong, there is no middleman to even control it, even though the program actually controls it. That's the part of the program. It's taking care of all of these different hash codes and everything to be precise, so that you don't really leave much room for mistakes.
Because the transaction happens on the blockchain, and the blockchain is split on millions of computers. You see, the blockchain is resident on millions of computers, so it doesn't matter, even if half the globe's power, for some reason, or a comet or whatever, there's no power, then at least there's, how many computers do you need to confirm a transaction on the blockchain? Not that many. You see, so it's nothing to do with, even if your power dips or your power fails, if you've made a transaction on a blockchain and press send and then it's out of everybody's hands. Now the network, the global network, the decentralized network of blockchain takes that transaction and confirms and checks. There's no double spend, and it confirms. So nothing to do with, there's nothing you can do to stop that transaction in the first place, and nothing catastrophic that can stop it, because you can't shut down the internet. You can't. It's not something that you can shut down, because it's not a system with a switch. It's not a system with an on and off switch. There's no central body that has that power. So it's not possible, and that's part of the security built into the blockchain, and that's why we moved totally out of PayPal, doesn't matter who else we have online, that you can do transactions and sending payments or donations from one person to another. We don't have anybody else in controlling that. So it's the safest way to send money online, and that's why we focus on Bitcoin and the blockchain.
Okay, well, I think we covered most of the questions that that we had, or our team members had. I don't know, you guys, Mike or Lubosh or Arslan, do you have any more questions to add?
I do. Basically, right now I'm at level 3. I receive payment from one side of leg. Just imagine, OJ is my downline. He got 2 legs. One leg of OJ. Okay, I received 2 from there, so I should have received 8. So what happens if I upgrade now? I have money to upgrade. Am I gonna receive the other 6 payments as well, or I will skip those?
You're talking about level 3?
Level 3,
and
yes.
You are level 2?
No.
Are you level 2?
Who, me? No, I'm level 3.
You're level 3.
Yes, I received 2 payments right now, but I'm still to receive 6 payments. So if I upgrade now, am I gonna receive those 6 or not?
Yes, you will receive all the payments from your level 3 once they upgrade. You won't ever get skipped as long as you are upgraded to the level that they are upgrading to. Then you will always receive those funds.
A second, Aslan, you will have you can upgrade even now to all levels if you want.
Oh, really?
You will be receiving all the money once the level is.
And one more question: we have to every month do the same circle again, 0.036 and then 0.5? Okay, that's done as well. Okay, and
you only pay the levels you want to get paid on. All the others you can leave. So if you want to get paid from your level 1s, pay your level 1. If you want to get payments from your level 2, pay your level 2.
Good.
Okay, so only pay the levels you want to get paid to. All right.
Okay, so basically I can upgrade as much as I want, and I'll be receiving all the down payments. Am I right?
Yes. Once people upgrade, you will get those. Now keep in mind, if you don't have people on your 5th level that wants to upgrade, why upgrade to level 6?
No, I won't be.
Except
I won't be.
if you're looking at a lot of spillover that's going to happen, and if you're a good tricker, I can bring in 1,000 people in the next month. I've got the vehicles, I've got the stuff to do it, so let's just grow up to level 6, get my 1,000 people in, and I know I've got no more problems with that.
One question: have you did all? No, nothing. One question is, just for example, as you said, if next month someone is not gonna pay, we're gonna have 5 days early to pay. If someone is not gonna pay at all, he's gonna have his position there. So he's basically blocking our position, right? Is that right?
No. If say I'm your level 1, okay, and I fail to pay you, right?
Okay.
So I've got people under me. Then they're all going to skip me. They're going to pay you. So I'm the one that's going to lose out.
Payment will go to me automatically.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
All the
Well,
payments that I was supposed to receive, everyone from my level 1, everyone from my level 2 that pays me for level 2, everyone from my level 3 that pays me for level 3. If I'm not upgraded to level 1, 2, or 3, then those payments will flow up to the next person in line that was supposed to receive that payment. So my level 1 will pay you because I'm your level 1. My level 2 won't be you, it won't be the guy on top of you. He's going to receive that level 2 payment. And the guy on top of him will receive the level 3 payment.
Have did lots of different tests already?
Yes, we test everything. We need to test everything. Otherwise, we run into interesting scenarios. Now, obviously, there was some things that we didn't think of that came through. And that's things that we're fixing or fixed already. You know, so, but yeah, you occasionally do get some surprises. But fortunately, it's such a simple system in a sense. It's complicated to understand mostly, but the system itself is very simple. And we've got that covered.
I did have one question. When we were speaking earlier about the blockchain technology and the way the system tracks it, you had mentioned Ethereum. Is there any possible chance, like in the future, that you could add additional cryptocurrencies like Ethereum to the platform, where they could be like a either in an exchange type, where they can transfer for Ethereum to Bitcoin, or they can earn as both? I mean, just curiosity.
I've discussed it already with the programmer. We've looked at the API. Ether API is even much better suited to use than the blockchain API. So yeah, I'm keeping it. You know, the thing is, I don't want to bring in too much changes, especially big changes, too quickly. So yes, it's on the back burner. It's something that I'm looking at. Another thing that I'm looking at is an exchange. So if I put the exchange app on together with the site as a separate entity where people can exchange their fiat currencies for any of the cryptocurrencies, then we'll probably that's another thing that's on the back burner that I'm looking into implementing in future on ZarFund.
Excellent. Yes, that was one of my concerns.
It's on the drawing board.
Yeah, because I've gotten so many requests for, hey, can you exchange PayPal for Bitcoin, pay here for Bitcoin, you know, and people are like, how do you fund blockchain? And I have to tell them, get a local wallet and, you know, everything else, and it would be so much easier. But back burner, yes, as long as it's there, I'm happy. You know, I'm good.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna write down there.
I've seen somewhere that you can create multiple accounts for one user, right? Not directly, for example, under myself, but you can create multiple accounts. Is that allowed? Is it okay?
Yes, I do allow multiple accounts. The only thing I don't allow is stacking, and that is when you create multiple accounts under yourself. And because what you're doing is, if you create multiple accounts under yourself, you're causing a dam. No money is flowing up beyond you, and we won't allow that. If you do something like that and I catch you out, I've got methods of looking at that, then I'll block your account, and all the work that you've done, everything will spill up to your upline. You won't get anything. But I do allow multiple accounts. There's different reasons why people need that. Okay, and I'm not there to tell you what you can and cannot do. I'm just telling you, listen, don't do it this way. But you can have multiple accounts. Now, if you do open up multiple accounts, you will, for every account, you will need a new username, a different password, a different email address and a different wallet ID to receive those funds. So you can have, doesn't matter how many you want, but another way to look at this is, listen, how much do you really need to make to be happy? And
No,
each person needs to answer that to themselves.
Okay, just I don't want like because I've seen it and it could go quite a while that people will just create multiple accounts, and just I wanted to know how you're gonna work with this, because there is videos on YouTube and people when they see it they just keep creating 2 or 3 accounts or maybe 5 accounts. And
basically what they do is they might create 2 or 3 accounts, but that means that they will be staying on the lower levels because they would not have the time to really dedicate on that one account to grow and to go the upper levels. Because if you have so many accounts, you're kind of spreading thin. You're gonna be staying on level 2, level 3. I guess this is mainly for people who know that they don't have such a vast network, and they kind of already decided for themselves that they're kind of okay with level 3, so they want to have 2 accounts on level 3 instead of 1. Maybe that's the case. I don't really know exactly why, but to me it sounds like this is probably the reason why people would want to have multiple accounts. So obviously it is much better to focus on one account and do what Mike did and promote it, like crazy, and really get everyone and everyone that they know in there, so you grow your tree and eventually you reach level 6. But I'm sure many people think I'm not a big promoter, I'm not a big leader, I'm not really gonna reach there. So they probably feel like this is where they belong, level 2, level 3, and that's why they're doing this.
Yeah, I don't encourage people doing it. Simply, your focus is your biggest asset in growing in a program like ZarFund. If you split your focus, it's like playing ping pong with 2 balls on the table. You need to be fast and flexible to be able to handle that. It's a skill level that you need to adapt to. And if your skills aren't fine-tuned to be able to handle a big team from multiple accounts, then you're going to burn yourself out. You're going to make yourself work instead of enjoying what you can accomplish in the program in such a short time. I mean, look at Mike, like you just mentioned. So I don't encourage people to open multiple accounts. There's no great advantage in doing that. You're splitting your focus. You're not concentrating on what can be done in the program, and you just won't reap those benefits as quickly as you think you will. I explained to a guy today, he was asking me some questions regarding how should he strategize. I said, listen, take your strongest leg. Don't take your weakest leg, take your strongest leg. Build that strong leg until you reach level 5 and level 6. You want those big payments to come in, so build your strongest leg. And then once the good money comes in, the good donations comes in, then focus on the next strongest leg that you have. And once you get that one giving you some good money coming in, then look at the 3rd strongest leg that you've got. Because that's where you're going to make money, not from focusing on weak legs and focusing on spreading yourself thin, like you said, AJ. So yeah, that's my advice.
Sorry, are you saying that we can reach the upper levels if we work with even just one leg? Because to me, with my experience in matrices, you always look at balancing these legs. Are you saying that with this program we don't have to worry about the balance so much?
Let me explain.
OJ, I try not to think traditionally. I don't follow the herd. I don't follow other programs. I look at everything in my unique way, and I love strategy. I want to be strategic when I do things. And the strategy that I propose is, listen, if you follow the traditional example of building your weak leg to be with your strong leg, you're wasting a lot of time. Yes, you're going to make some money, but you're wasting a lot of time and money that you could have had. If you keep on focusing on your best leg, focus on that best leg until you start reaching where you can receive the level 5 and level 6 payments. Because I'm not in it for 0.2 bitcoins or 0.1 bitcoins. That doesn't excite me. 1 bitcoin excites me, and 2 bitcoins excites me. And so that's what I'm going for. How will I reach that the quickest way? So my focus is, let's build that leg, the quickest one that I can get, and both that team leaders help them. The others that's struggling and not up to par, I'll get to them. I'll send them some information and help them and coach them and stuff. But my focus is on my strongest leg to reach level 5, level 6. Because that's going to enable me to grow faster, bigger, and stronger, to be able to build tools that will help my other legs to get up to speed. That's just my take on it. That's the way I function. That's what I look at.
And I mean, honestly, it's not that hard. I mean, you bring 2 people, each of those 2 people bring 2 people themselves, and it filters down like that. I mean, I look at it this way: there's over 4 billion people in the world, and the program only has like 2,500, 2,700 at this point. It's not entirely that difficult to bring in 2 people and then guide them to bring in 2 more, and then guide those, and follow down the chain, and pretty soon your matrix is filled, So, but I understand, a lot of people that I'm not strong in promotion. Well, that's why you have uplines with spillover. I mean, everyone will always get a referral as long as the program is in existence and we're promoting it. So that's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, there's some. Go ahead, AJ. There's some balance. There's some balance that you need to keep. You see, it's no use to just go the one way or the other. There needs to be some balance. I'm promoting and say, listen, build your strongest leg. But in the same time, if you neglect your weak leg up to a certain point, that will regress. You will lose people because they're not getting fed. There's no one joining them. So you need to have some balance in there. Your focus should be, hey, that strong leg, that's where my money's coming from. But you still need to not neglect the weak leg and still get some flowing on there. Good stuff.
Yeah. Understood. No, to be honest, for me this was new because I didn't look into that. I didn't realize that with one leg you will be getting enough payments to progress. Because obviously I'm on level 3, if anyone's interested. I'm on level 3, so I don't really have the experience of the upper level. So on level 1, I had to be paid by 2 people. I only have 2 people under me, so I don't have a choice of strong or weak. On level 2, I need to be paid by 4 people, and because that's all I have under me, I have to be paid by all of them. Now it sounds like when you get to level 4 and 5, you don't need everyone in your downline to be paying. You probably need just some of these people, and that's why you're saying that if you focus on one of the legs, you can achieve that. For me, this is news. I didn't quite realize that this is how it works.
Okay, now it's just a suggestion, OJ. But being a strategic person that I am, that's the way I view these things. Because you will always have racehorses, and you will always have donkeys. And I'm not qualifying or classifying people as racehorses or donkeys. I'm talking about the skill level. Okay, there's skills involved in everything in life. If you don't have the skill to attract leaders, but you can develop that by spending more time with leaders and seeking them out and what makes them leaders. And, you know, getting that, get that going and understand how leaders operate and function. Then you will attract leaders, because that's what people think you are. When they think you are a leader, then they get attracted to you, and then they want to join you. I think in ZarFund, I've got the most amazing leaders that I've met in my entire life. It's top-notch guys that's got hundreds and thousands of people that follow them. And that's what ZarFund is attracting at the moment, because it's a simple system, it's straightforward, it's transparent, it's easy, and it's safe. And if you can present that to others, and they see you as the leader and you promoting it, then they jump on board. You know, the program is in a sense beginning to grow exponentially. And we see that in the numbers climbing every day now.
Okay, so I guess we have exhausted all the questions. Mike, anything else that you want to add? You know what, I wanted to hear from Mike just before we go. I want you to kind of explain to us how you started, maybe how you found out about the program, and what was your progress, your experience briefly, because you're basically the most experienced out of all of us on the panel here.
Well, I mean, from the way I heard about it was a late night Facebook Messenger phone call from one of my downlines of another program, and she had basically, you know, let me know that, hey, I know a guy who's in this program, that we could possibly join this and make more money as well, and also to sponsor people in this other program. Now, you know, there was a decision that I made at that point. Okay, do I answer the phone call? Do I whatever? And thank God I answered that phone call, because, you know, if I hadn't, I wouldn't be in this position right now. But, you know,
as well. We all won't be here.
right, and then after that, she introduced me to another gentleman, and we got to talking, and I saw the beauty of the program right off the bat, and I was like, okay, member-to-member donations, everything's done outside the system through the blockchain. It has 6 levels, you know, 128 people at, you know, 164 bitcoins possible per month, and my brain just pretty much exploded, you know, and that was at the point where I was like, I felt like running out into the street and telling every single person that I knew, you know, hey, I got this, you know, that shiny object type, you know, oh, I'm so excited syndrome type thing going on. But I had to tone it down a little bit, because I know that's not the right way to, you know, give it out to people. So, but I did get a hold of a few people that I've known, you know, over the past year and a half that I've been doing online marketing, and I was like, hey, check this out, and they said, okay, well, I'll look at it. They didn't have any Bitcoin to start with, so since I had, you know, a couple bucks in my, you know, my blockchain already, I was like, I'll give it to you. Just, you know, sign and join and bring 2 people with you. And from there, it went just, I mean, if you've ever seen an explosion in slow motion, you'll know what I mean. You know, all it takes is one spark, and the thing just went boom. And, you know, I swear I've probably ruined the battery on my phone. My laptop's been continuously charging for the last 10 days. So, you know, and of course, you know, my wife hasn't seen much of me either. So, I mean, it's pretty insane. You know, the power of the spillover effect, you know, in a simple matrix like this is just phenomenal. You know, especially when, you know, well, of course, when you're at the top tier levels, you know, but as it goes down, and it's so easy, you know, and I don't know what to say. I mean, that's been my experience with it. I am just pleased, and I'm so proud, and I'm thankful to be a part of this. You know, I mean, this is definitely going to change my life as I know it today. You know, and, you know, it will provide for my kids' future, for my grandchild that's coming soon, his or her future. I don't even know what it is yet. But, you know, yeah, it's going to change things around in the Erhan household. You know, I mean, I hope that it will change everyone's way of life. You know, that's because I agree with your vision. You know, it's the donations, the giving, and, you know, I'm overwhelmed with it, to be honest.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, so what a great way to end it. Let's end it on that high note. It was quite a good speech by Mike, and we all hope that this program will be a great one. And we hope that it's going to be, a long-term program and everything. Fingers crossed, of course. And thank you very much, Hannes, for your time. Thank you very much for coming up with the concept, of course, in the first place, because it's quite a clever concept. I'm really impressed with it. And I wish you all the best with this business, with this venture, and, of course, many new members. Thank you, everyone. And if you haven't joined yet, there will be a link below this video. So you can go to the link below this video, or you can just go back to the person who directed you to that video, speak to your sponsor, and join their team. And to be honest, with a matrix like that, there is no time to waste. So be quick. All right, guys. Thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.
Absolutely.